Welcome everyone to Guided Notes with Mr. Weeb. Today is lesson 2 of our integers unit, and this lesson is all about adding integers. The goal is for you to be able to say at the end of it, I can represent the sum of two integers and describe integer situations that call for addition. Make sure you've got your pen or pencil ready to go, and hopefully you've got some colored pencils as well, because coloring really does help with you understanding and encoding all of this information. So pencils ready, earbuds on, let's go and see what our key terms are for today. The first key term we've got is a negative integer, a number shown with a minus symbol that is to the left of 0 on a number line, a countable number of spaces. For example, -1, -2, -3, and -4 are all negative integers. So let's circle all of the negative integers on here, remembering that they do keep going on to the left an infinite distance. Then we've got opposite integers, two numbers equally far from 0 on opposite sides of 0 on a number line. For example, the integers -2 and +2 are opposites. And a positive integer, a counting number. So let's write down a counting number, also called a natural number. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, an infinite distance to the right. So let's get to some examples. These should be handy, and I expect you to write these down as well. So first, this should be fairly straightforward. We have 2 plus 3. We know that the answer is going to be 5, so you can go ahead and write that down right now. But when we do it with counters, we have to do it in a certain way. You start with 2 counters, and then you add 3 more. And so in total, you have 5 positive counters. On a number line, it would look like this. You start at 2, and you add 3 more. 1, 2, 3. You add 3, and the answer is right there. For the next example, we have 2 plus a -3. Okay, so you start with 2 positive counters, 1, 2, and then we're going to add 3 negative counters, 1, 2, 3. I am lining them up like that, so hopefully you can see that here we have 0 pairs. Right? So we essentially have 0 plus 0 plus -1. So what do we end up with? We end up with -1. On a number line, we would start at 2, and since we're adding negatives, we go to the left. So we start at 2, and we go left 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. And this is our answer right there. Let's move on to the next example, where we have -5 plus 6. So we're going to start with negative counters now. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're adding 6 positive counters. So we'll add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, I'm lining them up like that so that we can easily see our negative pairs. These all cancel out because that's like 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1. So we end up with exactly 1. And on a number line, we would start at -5. And since we're adding, we're going to the right. So we go to the right 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We show that we are adding 6, and our answer is right there. Our next example says -5 plus -6. So we're working lots with negative counters now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 we start with, and we're adding 6 negative counters. 4, 5, 6. And I line them up this time just so that we can easily count how many negative counters we have. And I can see that there are 11 negative counters. So it looks like -11. And on a number line, we would start with -5, but we are adding negatives, so we go to the left. So we start at -5, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the left. So that's -6, and we end up at -11. And now we have some word problems. So here it says, the temperature in the morning is -5 degrees Celsius. Warming, it should say. We'll just fix that up right now. warming 12 degrees Celsius by 3 p.m. What temperature is it at 3 o'clock? Okay, well, what is my equation? Where do I start? I start at -5. And then it warms. We're adding 12 degrees of temperature. We're adding 12 degrees. So what does that look like with counters? We start at -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're adding 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm lining them all up again so it's easy to count. I can count by fives fairly quickly. And it's easy to see, since these are stacked up like this, that these are all zeros, so we don't need to worry about those. All we need to count is how much we have left over. And I can clearly see that we have 7 left over. On a number line, we would start at -5, and we are adding. So we're adding 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We added 12, and we ended up with 7. Let's see what we've got next. Jack swims 5 feet down, pauses, then swims another 4 feet down to touch the bottom of the pool. How far down did Jack swim? All right, so I might underline some important things. Swims 5 feet down, that means he's under the level of the water by 5 feet. So that's a -5. So I'm going to say that's a -5 to start with. Then he swims another 4 feet down. So he's adding an additional -4 feet. So we add another -4 to touch the bottom of the pool. How far did Jack swim? So with counters, we would start with -5, and we're adding 4 more negative counters. We end up with 9 negative counters, so that's -9. And on a number line, we start with -5, and we are going to the left because we're adding negative numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we end up with -9. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.